Well, first of all, I would like to thank all of you for making this incredible gathering such a smashing success. We had nearly 900 delegates from about 110 countries for this year's event, more than double what we had in Glasgow. Just some logistical information. Photos and videos will be available to view on the Summit website within 24 hours. Where we have permission, presentations will be uploaded to the website. Films of all plenary presentations will also be included. Evaluation forms will be emailed to you at the close of the day and will also be included within the event app and the daily briefing. Please do fill in the evaluation forms. They are incredibly helpful to us in planning for future meetings. Connections, if any funded delegates have queries regarding accommodation, flights, and connections, please speak to the logistics staff on registration who can be identified by their gray badges, and certification of attendance will be emailed to delegates within the next week. So I'm very pleased to introduce one of the leaders in Brazil of the civil society community, Jeová Fragoso from Grupo Esperança, and he is going to introduce Dr. Adele with the closing proclamation.
Obrigado. Boa tarde a todos. Eu agradeço o Ministério da Saúde do Brasil, através do Departamento Nacional de STIs, a doutora Adélia aqui presente na mesa. A WHA, também com o Charles aqui compondo a mesa. A todos os demais parceiros que puderam realizar esse grandioso evento. Em especial, agradeço pelo honroso convite para compor essa mesa. Sinto-me, então, com grande responsabilidade perante a todos os portadores, né, que estamos tendo a oportunidade de representar, e também perante todas as interfaces, né, que os atores envolvidos nessa luta, né, intensa aí contra as hepatites virais, e pois é o mundo sonhando, né, o mundo está sonhando com a eliminação das hepatites virais. E enfatizando a tipo C, tipo que infectou-me, né, quando eu descobri em 1994, e também me faz sonhar junto, né, com todos aqui, porque eu fiz 18 anos, né, de tratamentos. Comecei com tratamento com aquele interferon, nem era peglado, tomávamos 3 injeções por semana, e já com grau de fibrose F4, quando eu descobri, né, e a terapia que me apontava era só o transplante de fígado, mas não. Aí veio o advento do interferon peglado, participamos de alguns estudos estendidos e segurou a questão da evolução da fibrose, né? Não sei para onde que ela evolui mais, né? De F4, né? Chegou no grau máximo quando eu descobri. Mas nenhum desses tratamentos me deram uma resposta virológica sustentada. Então convivi com a doença nesses 18 anos, mas também foi um presente, né? A gente fala, poxa, quem quer estar doente, uma doença tão incrível, mas me deu o presente de eu poder estar ajudando, convivendo, interagindo com pessoas que realmente, eu acho que eu trabalhei 23 anos na Petrobras, né? Fiz a minha formação acadêmica, mas não tive tanta satisfação, né, como ter podido ajudar tantas pessoas nesses 18 anos, porque eu convivia com hepatite e eu via as dificuldades, mesmo tendo plano de saúde, né, importante, mas realmente a dificuldade das pessoas. E assim, não como eu não respondi, eu fui a transplante fazem 3 anos e meio, em 2014, continuando infectado, portanto, né, a gente não tinha outra terapia, né, e assim, com eminente risco da evolução rápida, né, você continua infectado com o transplante, porém, com a ciência descobrindo, né, os eficazes medicamentos, que são esses antirretrovirais de segunda onda, e com a determinação do Departamento de ST/AIDS e Hepatites do Brasil, que desde 2013 vem dando a atenção que as hepatites necessitavam, e com a incorporação dos medicamentos do Serviço de Saúde Pública em 2015, finalmente eu eliminei o vírus. Né? Então eu tinha um fígado que foi detonado pela hepatite C, coloquei outro que poderia, mas Deus também me contemplou todo esse esforço que a gente faz e veio esse medicamento no momento em que eu pude estar negativando, e sei que muitas pessoas vão estar negativando. No entanto, Sendo assim, a gente pode continuar com a atividade voluntária, né? Então, a gente se sente na obrigação até de se fortalecer mais a isso. E eu acho que a atividade que a gente faz muito tempo pela ONG Grupo Esperança, que é com base aqui no litoral, em Santos, e que eu não posso me furtar aqui o apoio logístico que a gente teve nesses 8 anos do Sindicato dos Trabalhadores da Petrobras, e que cabe o agradecimento também a tantas outras interfaces, mas eu acho que é importante que eu vivi e convivi nesses anos com milhares de pessoas, né? A gente tem um acervo nesses 18 anos, o nosso cadastro são milhares de pessoas infectadas. E nesse convívio você traz os familiares também para a sua presença. Hepatites B e C, muitas dessas pessoas já não estão mais entre nós por conta desses agravos, mas sei que do outro patamar, lá em cima, elas estão somando a todos nós nesse summit para fortalecer o alcance da meta da eliminação de hepatites no mundo. Tenho certeza que eles estão lá olhando pela gente. Eu ratifico, então, o agradecimento a Deus por ter me curado, dando a oportunidade de continuar auxiliando a população envolvida com a enfermidade, a minha família por ter ficado ao meu lado em full time, a todos que participaram desse evento, procurando soluções para tirar as hepatites virais do rol de preocupações da saúde pública no mundo, em especial a quem passo a palavra agora, tá? A doutora Adélia Mesaquim, que com competência e empenho está dando continuidade no enfrentamento das hepatites e assim mantendo e ampliando a posição do Brasil como modelo mundial na luta contra a doença. Muito obrigado.
É complicado falar depois de um sobrevivente. Então, obrigado pelas palavras. Eu acho que o teu nome já diz tudo. É verdade. Então, vamos tentar respirar fundo e dar andamento a essa sessão de encerramento. Eu fui encarregada de falar da Declaração de São Paulo de hepatites virais, que foi negociada em Genebra entre os Estados-membros que compõem a Organização Mundial de Saúde e que foi liderada pelo Brasil. É uma mensagem para o mundo, que deveria estar projetada já o primeiro slide na tela, sobre o comprometimento dos governos com a eliminação das hepatites virais como problema de saúde pública até 2030. Foram realizadas 5 reuniões de consulta sobre o texto da declaração, com ampla participação da delegação de todos os países. Todos demonstraram espírito construtivo e muita flexibilidade para que as negociações chegassem a um bom termo. O processo de negociação, ele permitiu que o texto inicial, preparado pelo governo brasileiro, fosse enriquecido com perspectivas diferentes sobre o tema. Muitas delas discutidas por ocasião desse summit. Então, eu não vou ler totalmente a declaração. Ela inicia com uma contextualização sobre a situação das hepatites virais como problema grave de saúde pública, e, na sequência, alguns temas são destaque. Aqui eu gostaria de ressaltar o parágrafo específico sobre o acordo TRIPS, reafirmando os direitos dos países no pleno uso das flexibilidades do acordo sobre aspecto dos direitos de propriedade intelectual. A declaração também reforça a necessidade dos países que os países desenvolvam medidas para a implementação da estratégia no setor de saúde sobre hepatites virais, reconhecendo o programa de controle que a OMS lançou, ou seja, reforça a necessidade que os países desenvolvam essas ações seguindo orientações da OMS, bem como reconhece os avanços no enfrentamento às hepatites, que, infelizmente, ainda não são acessíveis, dado o seu alto custo. Desta forma, A declaração, que foi negociada pelos Estados-membros, reitera a importância da implementação das ações desenvolvidas no âmbito das estratégias propostas pela OMS, conforme eu falei, além de chamar a atenção para hepatites virais como um problema de saúde pública global. Esse documento ele se encontra nesse salão nos 2 idiomas, e os interessados, por favor, podem pegar uma cópia no papel, e com certeza terá uma ampla divulgação posteriormente no site, tanto do Ministério da Saúde, como da OMS, como da World Hepatitis Alliance. Era isso. Obrigada.
And now we'd like to invite up to the stage someone who needs no introduction, Charles Gore, to read the community declaration.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael, and thank you to the government of Brazil, who got together this high-level declaration, which is extremely difficult to do, getting a whole bunch of countries to agree on something in really what was a record time. And in response, the community wanted to put out their own declaration, which we did in our pre-summit meeting of our members at the beginning of the week. So, we, the viral hepatitis community, consisting of people living with and or affected by viral hepatitis, who assembled at the World Hepatitis Summit in São Paulo, Brazil, from the 1st to 3rd November 2017. Number one, wish to wholeheartedly support the São Paulo Declaration made by high-level representatives. 2, wish to thank the government of Brazil for hosting the summit and to applaud their leadership in viral hepatitis. 3, request that you fulfill, this is governments, in relation to viral hepatitis, your government's pledge in the Sustainable Development Goals, not just that no one will be left behind, but that you will endeavour to reach the furthest behind first. 4, request that you go beyond Sustainable Development Goal 3.3 of combating viral hepatitis and commit to ending this epidemic as you have with HIV/AIDS, TB and malaria. 5, request that you give viral hepatitis exactly the same priority that has been given to HIV/AIDS, TB and malaria, which has been so effective in reducing mortality from those diseases. 6, request that you put particular emphasis on finding the almost 300 million men, women and children who are living with hepatitis B or C but remain undiagnosed. Finding these missing millions will be essential to preventing new infections and essential to providing access to the treatments that will stop 1.3 million of them dying every year. 7, a request that you make addressing stigma and discrimination a priority, since they are a major impediment to finding these missing millions, and to giving those that need it appropriate care and treatment, and hence to the goal of elimination set out in the Global Health Sector Strategy on Viral Hepatitis. 8, request that you use whatever means are necessary and that you stop at nothing to ensure that all of those living with viral hepatitis have access to the tests and drugs they need, either for free or at a price they can readily afford. 9, request that you involve us, the people living with the disease, fully in the design and implementation of national viral hepatitis plans. And 10, pledge in return that we will work tirelessly to assist you in these endeavours, that we will be as free with our praise of fine work as we are with our criticism of an inadequate response, and that we will provide the necessary advocacy to help you find the resources you need, achieve the commodity prices you want, and reach the goal we all share, which is the elimination of viral hepatitis by 2030. Thank you.
Bom, voltamos então a chamar a doutora Adele para dizer sobre o encerramento desse evento.
Ainda bem que eu não tenho que passar slides de novo, né? Senão podia esquecer. Na verdade, é a emoção. Esse é o momento em que as cortinas se fecham e já começam as saudades dos momentos que foram vividos aqui. Acho que, no fundo, eu sou uma ativista. Foi uma honra para o Brasil sediar esse evento. E participar da organização do mesmo. Mas a maior felicidade foi organizar um side event, onde as hepatites virais na região do norte do país foi enfocada, e principalmente a hepatite delta, doença negligenciada, e tentar colocar isso na agenda não só do Brasil, mas também da região da América Latina. Nós vivemos nessa cúpula um momento histórico em que nós podemos vislumbrar no futuro grandes mudanças. Nós tivemos a oportunidade de debater prevenção, ampliação do diagnóstico oportuno e tratamento, discutimos mecanismos de financiamento para os planos nacionais, adoção de novas tecnologias, bem como de políticas e estratégias baseadas em evidência. Destaco que é essencial reconhecermos em todos os aspectos e o quanto é crucial a participação social na elaboração e implementação de políticas públicas de saúde. Eu concluo afirmando que, mesmo diante de tantas conquistas, estamos plenamente conscientes dos desafios que temos pela frente para eliminarmos as hepatites virais como problema de saúde pública até 2030. Dito isso, eu espero que essa cúpula mundial de hepatites virais tenha sido uma excelente oportunidade para definirmos qual o melhor caminho para trilharmos juntos. Eu gostaria, nesse momento, de agradecer a OMS, WHO e a World Hepatitis Alliance, aqui representada por um velho amigo, Gottfried, e um amigo novo, o Charles. E principalmente pela Sociedade Civil Brasileira de Hepatite, aqui nesse ato de encerramento, representada pelo Jeová e que foi pelo Varaldo na sessão de abertura. Mas, principalmente, como mãezona que sou, um agradecimento aos funcionários do departamento. E a Michele Dantas é a pessoa que eu elejo meus principais agradecimentos. Nós aqui reconhecemos que as hepatites são prioridades em relação ao desenvolvimento e à saúde pública global, e, a partir de agora, nós precisamos promover e lutar por respostas urgentes em nossos países. Eu espero que todos possam voltar para as suas casas com as esperanças renovadas, depois desses 3 dias de intenso trabalho. E que, principalmente, esses dias marcaram a celebração de tantos anos de lutas e reivindicação. O Summit termina, mas um sonho de um mundo sem hepatites virais continua. Obrigada.
All right, we are just about to wrap up here. Before I call Gottfried Hernschel up to the stage, I'd like to take the chair's prerogative and thank all of the organizers for this event, most of whom are sitting right here, especially the Alliance staff, WHO, Michelle, and the wonderful team from the Ministry of Health. It exceeded expectations, and I think everyone is going home very inspired. Thank you all. Gottfried Hernschel is going to say some closing remarks, followed by Charles Gore, and I'd like to thank Gottfried and Charles as well.
Good afternoon. I'm really honored to make these closing statements on behalf of WHO, and I really want to say I'm making them on behalf of the team that is here, the headquarter team, the team from all our regional offices, and I know you have very proactively engaged with all of them through the course of the last few days, and I'm very glad that I think we made a strong contribution also in the various presentations. I really want to congratulate our hosts, Brazil, for hosting such a successful event. And wow, what an event, I would say. As has been said, we have had so many people here, more than 800 people who came, more than 80 countries were represented by people from their governments, more than 100 countries overall were here. It's really fantastic. We've seen a doubling in size since Glasgow just 2 years ago, and that in itself, I believe, is a strong indicator, as is sort of the high-level representation that we have seen from so many countries. You've seen the lineup of ministers on the first morning, and they all spoke. So it's been really very uplifting. And what I also think is important, that the conversations that we've had compared to 2 years ago, and they have so much matured. We have so much more to say. We have so much more things to talk to each other. And I think that obviously is based on the progress that has been made in countries. And really we have seen what I would call the proof of concept in several countries, that it's being done and that it can be done. And that has been, for me personally, one of the most encouraging moments. What is also unique about this event, I would say, somewhat boastfully, is that it's the only global event that brings together people who are implementers from countries, policymakers, civil society, partners, to really discuss, not about individuals. I mean, there are many clinical conferences, of course, and they are very important and very necessary, but this is to talk about people. This is about talking about populations, and this is talking about how to make people free from disease, whole populations to move towards elimination. So let me share just a few reflections that I think came out from the meeting over the last few days. As you all know, and as we all know, the theme of the summit obviously was how to move towards elimination, how to implement the global strategy, and how really to make the targets a reality. First, I think we all agree we know what to do. We've seen the interventions on various slides and presentations. And I also think we know much better now how to do it. We still have some things to learn more on how to do it. What is important is that we concretize the actions. And that is another important aspect that we have seen, that so many countries now have plans that actually try to achieve that, to really nail down what to do and how to do it. Secondly, we had a fantastic series of presentations and panels this morning about how we're going to pay for this. We know what to do and how to do it, but still, somebody has to pay for it. And for me, two conclusions that came out of this really very good panels this morning is, let's not wait that somebody else outside will pay for it. We really have to find as much as possible in our domestic budgets. And some countries are already doing it, others are not yet doing it. But ultimately, that's where most of the resources will have to come from. And I think that's been very clearly laid out. There will be need for some catalytic funding, and there's also been a presentation of a new catalytic fund that's coming up. But clearly, I think looking internally is going to be very important. And linked to that, what is so important is to make a strong case. We had presentations about the investment case and how to pitch it in what tools to use, and I think that is really important to take that forward as well. Third, the treatment arena, as I would call this, is very dynamic. We have really seen more people getting on treatment. Prices are coming down. What I think is very clear is that even the prices are lower in some countries, that doesn't mean that all people that need it are yet getting it. So we still have to do a long way to go there. And secondly, that even so in some countries the prices have come down, in many other countries they have not sufficiently. And there's still room and scope for very proactively working towards bringing down the prices, specifically in middle-income countries and also in high-income countries. Fourthly, I think there was really consensus that treatment is important, but I think we really also need to move forward on prevention. And two areas that were discussed quite strongly, I believe, is one is getting the birth dose implemented, and we have had presentations about that. And then another strong message that I think that came out of the summit is that without harm reduction for persons who inject drugs, elimination by 2030 will not be possible. And really that barriers to access need to be removed, and this in many instances and in many countries may include the review of legal frameworks, including those that criminalize behaviors, of course. And in conclusion, I think we have seen that many countries are moving forward, but clearly countries are at different stages. Some countries are really very early, some countries haven't really started yet, and they're very different paces. But what the beauty of, obviously, the movement is that, yes, we can learn from each other. Yes, we can share experiences with each other. And yes, by moving forward in some countries, we will really stimulate and we will trigger action in other countries that may not have moved as strongly yet. So I would really like to say that the horses have left the stable. The race that's ahead of us is still long, and it's one where we have to go as fast as possible to get to that place, that target as quickly as possible. From WHO side, count on us. We will continue to be very strong partners. We will be seeing this also under our new leadership, Dr. Tedros, our new Director General, as a priority. He clearly will ask us and has asked us to link this to universal health coverage and to broader health system strengthening. And that's, as we have been also discussing this morning and throughout the last few days, that is a wise thing to do. We will not follow the model of HIV 20 years ago to create a separate vertical program. It will not be useful and it will not get us there. So let us really be learning from the positive experiences, but also advancing the model to something that is more embedded, that is more linked, that is more optimally integrated, and that can take advantage of synergies from other program areas, including from HIV and others. We will, of course, in WHO work with all of you, and particularly those of you in countries, to monitor the response. Countries have asked us, it's our responsibility as WHO to report back in May this coming year, which is exactly 2 years after when the strategy was endorsed, to report back. We can only report back if we know from you what's happening in your countries. So we will get back to you and ask you some very concrete questions, the indicators that were presented over the course of the meeting, to see where are you. You may not have all the answers, you may not have all the data, but you may have some. And we will be asked every other year, so next year, and then in 2 years, and then in 6 years, to report on the full implementation of the strategy. So we can only do this if we do this together with countries, if we get the information from you, and if we, together with you, can actually build the systems that will be needed to ultimately get more data. We will continue to provide cutting-edge normative guidance based on evidence. New Hepatitis C Guidelines are sort of around the corner. We hope to launch them early next year, really building on the new pangenotypic regimens and looking towards treatment for all. So some exciting new guidelines that will be around. And we will also continue to be strong partners to all of you and support those countries with the capacity that we have. Those countries, they may need some technical support on the way forward. Getting to elimination obviously requires leadership. And I want to take a little pause here and really acknowledge and honor a true champion and a true leader, and that is Charles Gore. And also, I think this event is obviously about all of us and the community as such. I cannot overlook the significance of Charles's contribution, his impact, and his vision over the last years. I think really without you, Charles, we wouldn't be where we are. We might not even have a summit, to be completely honest. Charles has traveled the globe, and with humility, diplomacy, wit, and insight, he has advocated for the cause. We're all indebted to you, Charles, and from the WHO team, we have a little present for you to make it easier for you to swing and sway into the post-WHA era. You probably all know that Charles is going to pass the baton to Michael at the end of the year as the incoming president, and we will also look forward to working with you, of course, Michael, at the end of this year. And you may not know that Brazil claims to be the country that makes the best hammocks in the world. A hammock is this thing you put it, maybe not ever, you put it between two palm trees or any trees, and then you can lie, or to walls, or on your terrace, and then you can lie in it and you can swing. And we thought maybe you can swing more easily into the next phase, and you maybe even have more time to stay in that hammock in future. So Charles, if you don't mind, I need to ask you. Charles doesn't have to open it, but the hammock is green. It's the no-hap green color. Okay, so. I also want to say Charles has been a great inspiration. Charles has been a great inspiration to me personally. We've met exactly 4 years ago in a meeting in Oman, the regional committee for the Eastern Mediterranean region, and it was just about decided that the hepatitis team would be joined with the HIV team. And I know Charles has been looking at me up and down and said, well, I know you really were not sure whether this was a good thing for WHO to decide. But I think over the years, we have really turned into, I believe, brothers in arms here. And I think we have been striking it off very, very well. So thank you for that. Thanks also really go to another leader, and that's Adele. I don't have a hammock for you because you won't have time to be in it. Plus, you have so many hammocks in Brazil already. But really, I want to recognize Adele as an extremely important leader in Brazil, and everybody here knows that. We've seen it and heard it, and the announcement about the treat-all policy is an incredible success that I think you should be so proud of, and we should all be very thankful for. But I really also want to say it's about your role at the global level, because you also play a very important role in supporting many of the processes of WHO. You also are a co-chair at the Global Strategic and Technical Advisory Committee, and the experience from Brazil you're bringing to the global fora and conversations is really very inspiring and very, very important. So thank you very much, Adele. It's really And really also thanks go to Minister Barros, who was here, and we've all seen him, and I must say I was personally so impressed that he didn't just do the opening as mostly ministers do and then they disappear. He was joining us for, I think, 2 days, and he was really engaging with many of us, and he was at the meeting, so it's absolutely quite fantastic. Charles, you're doing the full thanks at the end, but I really want to thank our other WHA colleagues and everybody who's from the whole WHA team, because you have been really fantastic. Raquel Peck, she had to leave to look after her little family, but she obviously has been such a strong partner as well. I really also want to thank my own team, the WHO team, who has been working day and night over the last weeks and months. And I specifically want to recognize 3 people who made, I think, this meeting a success, and they deserve all our gratitude. Michel Dantes from Paul Taylor from the Alliance. Where's Paul? And Sarah Hess from WHO. Thank you, Sarah. So last but not least, I want to thank everybody who came, everybody in the room, and particularly all of you who are still here for still being here, because I know some of you had to take flights and some of you may have been sidetracked otherwise, but it's great that we still have so many people. And please do carry the message. We are in this together. We are already starting to look forward and to plan for the next summit in 2019, and Michael is going to talk about this a little bit more. But obviously, I am convinced that we will be even more people in that room, wherever it will be, and that we will even have more stories to tell and more experiences to build on. So let us be strong, let us be bold, let us be united. I am convinced that we can move mountains if we really push together. So thank you very much.
All right, for the last time today anyway, Charles Gore.
Well, thank you very much indeed. I was really touched by the hammock. So most of what I'd like to say has already been said, but just a couple of things I'd like to say, as well as I'd like to do some thank yous. But nearly 7 years ago, I had a dream about a forum where patient groups, and particularly the affected community, could come together with ministries of health, as well as with WHO, public health experts generally, funders, clinicians, but mainly, above everything else, patient groups and ministries of health, to try and combine both a patient-centered approach and a public health approach. And thank you so much for making my dream come true, because this is what I dreamt of. And it is just, I'm really moved by it. And I do in particular want to thank the people who have made this possible. Obviously our hosts, Brazil, and the work that the team have done, and also the hepatitis coordinating team from the municipality of Sao Paulo. Obviously your leadership, Adele, and our other partner, WHO, and I know this was just a huge commitment from the whole team, all of you, so in terms of resources, time, and people, so thank you very much. The people who financially supported this, very importantly, GPRO, Walgreens, the Wellcome Trust, this is Sean Foundation, Unitaid, and in particular the John C. Martin Foundation, who just continue to be fantastic supporters of hepatitis and of us. Thank you, Lily. The abstract sponsors, EASL and AASLD, the program committees who worked for many months putting what I think was a really fantastic program together, and particularly the chairs of those committees, and the chairs and speakers in all the sessions, and the translators who do a really difficult and exhausting job, and our volunteers who were absolutely great, looking after us all. MCI, who did a great job in terms of actually staging it, and I hope, like me, you think it looked really fantastic. And in particular, my team, I'm not going to name them individually, but some of them for 2 years have been on this project, and I hope, you know, I only saw them smiling, so you know, that's a great testament. Really a lot of work. So if you could give all these people a big round of applause, and particularly my team, that would be great. So yes, and as Gottfried said, thank you all for coming. You make this event. And I hope you enjoyed it. More than that, I hope you're enthused by it. And as Gottfried said, you know, this year's event is significantly bigger than Glasgow, and we hope that the next event will continue this momentum. It'll be in 2019. We're in discussions at the moment with a number of potential host countries, and we will email you all when the final decision is taken shortly. I don't want to go on long, but since you very kindly asked me to close the summit, I would like to just end it maybe on a personal note. As Gottfried alluded to, I'm stepping down as president of the World Hepatitis Alliance, and I really want to say what a privilege and honor and very often a joy it has been to work with so many of you over the last 10 years, and so many incredibly committed people to this cause. And even when I step down, it's not like, you know, this has got such a momentum, and I'm just so thrilled and touched by it. I mean, you could say from one point of view that what I've done really in the last 10 years is work towards, you know, getting elimination on the agenda and then compiling this enormous to-do list of how we get to elimination. And just at the moment where we really start needing to do the work, I'm leaving. But I do think that, as Gottfried said, jokes apart, you know, HIV was really a poster child of how the world could mobilize to tackle a public health threat. And you know, there are things definitely to be learned. But this is a completely different era. Circumstances are very different. The approach to health is very different. The financing is very different. And I think that hepatitis can actually be a poster child of how to do it in the new environment. And I really believe that, and I believe that in years to come, other health issues will look to how hepatitis has used, you know, much fewer resources, but in a much more clever way, by having this integrated universal health coverage approach. So I'd just like to conclude by saying I hope that you leave here more firmly believing that we can do this than when you arrived. Because it's actually, you know, it is something that we can do. But in order to convince everyone out there that we can do it, we all absolutely have to believe it. Thank you very much. I should just say in conclusion, I hope you all have a very safe trip home, and the summit is officially closed. Thank you.
To the fight against hepatitis, a disease we all need to know. A wild dream that is claiming the lives of our own loved ones. If I got you down my